So before we get started, check out the following links in the description box below as highlighted in the image shown. So you'll be able to get our past papers, our link to our official website, link to accreditations, our link to donation page, and contact details in the description. So once you'll be watching a certain video of any lesson or of any past paper, you'll be able to get all these links, and you can be able to get to download past papers, to reach to our official website. You'll be able to see links to our accreditations so that you can see which authorities have accredited us. You'll be able to reach to our donation page as well as our contact details.
Welcome back. Still in August 2023 past paper, Principles of Economics, ATD Level 3. We are now going to question number 5, and we are directly beginning with question number 5A, which reads, outline 5 characteristics of public goods. And I'm going to read through the answers very fast. And the characteristic of public goods is non-excludability. That is, they cannot be excluded from one person. That is, they include all individuals. Everyone is allowed to use the public goods. And it says, non-excludability means that it is not feasible to exclude individuals from using the good. Once the good is provided, it is available to all. The good is available to all, non-discriminatory. And then non-rivalry, it implies that one person's use of good does not diminish its availability to others. If one uses it, the others can also use it, not for specific one person. An example, a lighthouse provides light to all ships in its vicinity without diminishing the amount of light available to any single ship. Another characteristic of a public good is indivisibility, and it says public goods are often indivisible, meaning they cannot be divided into smaller units to individual consumers. Another characteristic is non-rejectability, and it means that individuals cannot opt out of receiving benefits of the good, and we have been given an example of street lights, which says if someone does not want the light or does not contribute to its cost, they will benefit from the street being illuminated. So you can't reject the provision of public goods. And the last characteristic that I got is financing through taxation, and we say public goods are typically financed through taxation because it is difficult to charge individuals directly for their use. So they are provided by the government through taxation. This is the work of the government. The government are the ones that provide public goods. And our part B of question number 5, let's go to the question paper. It reads, with the help of a well-labeled diagram, explain the concept of a producer surplus. Let's see what I got. Sorry, the producer surplus. And where's the diagram? Here's the diagram of the producer surplus. And let's read. It says, let's define what producer surplus is first. Producer surplus is a measure of a producer welfare. It represents the difference between what the producers are willing to accept for a good or service and what they actually receive. It is essentially the benefit producers receive from selling at a market price higher than their minimum acceptable price. That is the producer surplus. So for the producer surplus, we must have the supply curve, the market price, and the producer surplus area with the supply curve is the upward slope, and then the market price is horizontal, and then there's the quantity supplied, and there's the producer surplus, which is the shaded area, and the area is calculated by producer surplus is a half multiplied by the base multiplied by the height of the triangle that is formed. And this is what we have here: the supply, the demand, and the prices, and then here is the producer surplus. And to get this, the producer surplus here, we take a half multiplied by this, let's call this A, and this B, multiplied by A multiplied by B, and we are going to get this area here. Let's read through, and we say we have the axis. The vertical represents the price, this is the vertical, and the horizontal is the quantity. Let's explain the graph. And then we have the supply curve. This is the upward sloping curve which represents the minimum price at which producers are willing to sell each additional unit of the good. As the quantity increases, the price required to supply more units also increases. This is the supply curve. And then we have the market price. This horizontal line represents the market price at which the good is sold. If it is constant for all units, it is constant for all units sold in the market. This is our price curve. Now we have the quantity supplied. The horizontal distance from the original to the point where the supply curve intersects the market price lines indicates the quantity of the goods supplied. And here we are dealing with peak price 1, and the quantity is this one. This is the quantity that you're talking about, and the price is horizontal like that. There. And the producer surplus is the shaded area above the supply curve and below the market price line. Above the supply curve. This is above the supply curve, but below the price. This is the producer surplus. So that is how the graph of the producer surplus curve is supposed to be. And here we had another one for another price. We got another producer surplus curve, something like that. That is the producer surplus curve. Okay, I hope you have understood. On part C of question number 5, we are required to explain 5 effects of depreciation of a currency in an economy. Depreciation is the loss of value or reduction of value of a domestic currency to foreign currencies. That is what depreciation is. Let's look at the effects very fast to an economy. In case our currency loses value, what happens? There's the impact on imports and exports. So with the depreciation in currency, exports are going to be cheaper and imports are going to be more expensive. And on inflation, impact on inflation is another effect of depreciation. And here imports become more expensive, domestic inflation says high inflation can result from increased production costs, reducing purchasing power of consumers. This can create upward pressure on wages as workers demand higher pay to keep up with the rising cost of living. So it also affects domestic inflation, that is, it increases inflation. Leading to reduced purchasing power of consumers. Consumers are going to purchase less because of increased inflation. Another impact is on investment, that is foreign investors and domestic investors. So if your currency loses value, then foreign investors are likely to invest more, and for domestic investors, depreciation can increase the cost of imported capital goods and technology, which can potentially reduce investment in new projects. And so foreigners are going to invest more. These are foreigners, and domestic producers or investors are going to invest less. And then impact on economic growth is another effect of depreciation of a currency, and it says growth boost. The increased competitiveness of exports and potential reduction in imports can lead to high net exports, contributing positively to economic growth. This can stimulate production, creating jobs and improving economic performance. And growth risk. However, persistent depreciation and high inflation can have negative effects such as reduced consumer purchasing power, increased production costs, and potential economic instability. Another impact is on the balance of payments, and that is through trade balances and capital flows. And how is that going to be done under capital flows? Depreciation can impact capital flows by affecting foreign investment. While a weaker currency can attract foreign investment by making assets cheaper, it can also lead to capital flight if investors perceive high risks or potential further depreciation. Another is the impact on debt, that is foreign debt and domestic debt. For foreign debt, countries with significant foreign denominated debt, depreciation can increase the burden of debt repayments. You are likely to pay more if your currency depreciates, and the vice versa is also true, that is under domestic debt. And then there's impact on consumer behavior. There's going to be reduced in purchasing power, and they're also going to be shift in consumption. Consumers may shift their spending from imported goods to domestically produced alternatives as the price of imports rises. So they are going to consume on their domestic produce and leave alone imports. I think that's all that I got under the effects of depreciation. Only 7 points. And that is the end of question 5. So thank you, and see you in our next lesson, which is going to be question number 6. For now, it's a bye.
So if you like this video, you can always enroll with us. You'll be able to access more of these revision sessions, and also you'll be able to find well done lectures or pre-recorded videos for all the KASNEB courses as well as CHRP. And in case of anything, you can always reach us out. We have our contact details on the screen. Feel free to call, feel free to WhatsApp anytime. So thank you, and let's meet in our next session.